Hello, I'm Rayhon Matikubova. Welcome back to the Reme Show. This is a podcast about women from Central Asia and the Caucasus, the women that are reshaping this incredible region. And I'm coming back to you after a little pause, and I couldn't think of a better guest to have than Suinbike Suleymenova. She is a young Kazakh visual artist and filmmaker. Suinbike is the daughter of two great contemporary artists in Kazakhstan, Saule Suleymenova and Kuanish Bazargaliyev, that have developed their work into rediscovering in many shapes and forms the Kazakh identity. And Suinbike herself is a cultural warrior at a time when Kazakhstan is going through a very interesting process of rediscovering its own language, and Suinbike is making film about it. So I can't wait to hear all about it. Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
And it's just recently, by the way, that I have finally learned the actual pronunciation of my name.
Give me the pronunciation that you have been using all your life and the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, sure. So it was like Suinbike, and now it is Suinbike. You see?
And,
So, yeah.
and it means, I guess, it means like something related to joy, your name.
Suin is love, and Bike is a synonym of Hanım, which is a lady. So, lady of love, I guess.
So sweet. It's so sweet. So, Suinbike, no,
Yeah.
Suinbike. Tell me about the protest in Kazakhstan in 2019 when you picked up your camera and you realized something. What was happening in Kazakhstan at the time, and what was this realization for you?
Okay, so 2019, me and my friends, mostly in from art scene of Almaty, we are organizing to say no to whatever is happening in the political arena that was happening this entire 30 years of independence that we are not agreeing with. And also because finally Nazarbayev is resigning. And everyone was extremely euphoric at that very moment because, oh, finally, and then
Let's tell people who don't know who is Nazarbayev. He was the first president of independent Kazakhstan.
yes, and a great tyrant. So he rewrote the constitution so that he would be a kind of an untouchable, sacred icon. That's how, also he was a really harsh dictator in terms of how protests in Zhanaozen were forcefully pushed with mass shootings and also a lot of journalists killed
Journalists.
by journalists in cities, and many dirty, terrible stories, that everyone would be just discussing on their kitchens, not anywhere else, especially after journalists were killed.
Right.
Yeah,
So you're
and
talking
it is
about the 90s, because it's not the time when I was living there, which is the end of kind of 2010 or so.
yeah,
There were
yeah.
no journalists killed then.
Yeah, it was a bit like the journalist that I'm talking about is this Nur Kadyrov guy. There is all this information out there. And also, I guess what tells more about Nazarbayev is really well written by Diana Kudaibergenova, and she has several books about political life of Kazakhstan. And Joanna Lilis, Dark Shadows, her book about Kazakhstan, Shadows over Kazakhstan or something like this. Yeah. So English-speaking people can access more information throughout these two names at least. Yeah.
So
but
let's go back to 2019 when Nazarbayev suddenly and unexpectedly, being the leader of the nation, he could have stayed in power until his last breath, but he
Yes.
decided to resign and he hands over power to the current leader of Kazakhstan. What's happening in the streets, and you are there with the camera?
So people were euphoric because it kind of looked like he came to this realization that Nazarbayev came to a realization that shall has to be cat. Like shall cat is the slogan. So like the old man has to
Has to go.
has to go, yeah, because this is what people cry out on the streets all the time, like whenever they go outside to protest. And unfortunately, this realizing something about him being cancelled long ago, it isn't the case. It's just like a kind of a theater thing, and like there is already a Tokayev figure that he has assigned, and so it's generally just like a kind of a power transit that was designed, being asked to even vote in the beginning. So like there's just like this figure that is there, and you gotta say yes. And we understand that with the um state of our electoral situation, the electoral institute, it is not possible for democracy to happen, and people will not be able to actually vote and like actually choose and so on. So like all of this upheaval is like rolling over and like getting together, and that's why all the young people were getting together as well. Maybe not all of them, but like me and my friends were, and like the artists and people around the art and cultural kind of sphere. So that's how we came up with this protest banner, "От правды не убежишь," you can't run from the truth. There is a lot of information about a lot of interviews out there about that moment. And that's how, like, injustifiably, it was that we were arrested for that and sued. And there was that huge hearing. It was a lot of attention dragged to the hearing, and a lot of people were just coming there physically and trying to support us, because we were just like, there was this protest, and I was filming I was the person, like,
Why
the
why
camera.
were you what were you accused of?
For organizing a protest.
And
Yeah, but
what happened with that court hearing? Were you sentenced?
yes, 15. I wasn't, because I've received a discount. They used the term themselves, because I was pregnant back then, and I didn't go to
Prison.
prison. The prison was only charged to Asya Tulesova and Biba Restombekov, who became icons of the.
Yes, yes, I remember. I remember that time, 2019. But for you, kind of going back to your situation, was it the moment when you realized something about the language, something about the Kazakh language? You're kind of in your late 20s, and you're realizing that you don't speak the language, don't speak the Kazakh language.
This is a kind of a visual effect, and that's why I really wanted to show it in film, because I'm a cinematographer by education and a filmmaker and director by practice, and artist, new media artist, and curator, and like I work in contemporary art, close to the video. And so that's why I was thinking that this has to be shown in a visual way, because my phone, my phone was like any other person's phone, is a personalized feed, right? So my entire life, my feed, me living in Kazakhstan, was never getting through Kazakh speaking content.
Yeah, that's how the algorithms work.
Yeah, yeah. And at that point where like all of the people, all of the citizens, like the civil society of Kazakhstan, united together against this changes, but like for the changes, but against like this fake changes, and everything that was happening in 2019, because like
That was the beginning of your personal journey in rediscovering your language. But what we see happening now, and I'm not in Kazakhstan, that's why I'm talking to you, I want to hear it from you. We're hearing about this new wave of new Kazakh wave in which people are really like demanding for others to speak Kazakh. Can you tell me why is it important? What prompted this new wave?
Well, linguistic activists, first of all, obviously, but I do believe it is all connected with like 2019, whatever like was happening, like pushing each one of these bits through, because the people did become more vocal and open about what they think, and that's how we had like more and more different activisms appearing. And linguistic activists, they would go to cafes and ask for menus in Kazakh, or like to store like grocery stores and ask for uh, being approached to them in Kazakh language.
Because Almaty is like former capital and still kind of commercial capital of Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
is a very much Russian speaking city. So
Yes.
if you go to a nice cafe in Almaty today, you're most likely to have a menu in
Russian and English. Russian English is like a standardized menu, but
Okay.
Kazakh was not there at all.
But then something has really, really changed. You are referring to 2019, the beginning of this awakening or Young Kazakhstan movement, which translates as Kazakhstan is waking up. But then Russia invades Ukraine, full-scale invasion in February
Yes.
2022.
Yes.
And that kind of exacerbated the fears in Kazakhstan and gave a new boost to this movement, to the new Kazakh movement.
Absolutely it did. Yeah, many people were talking about how, I don't know, they want to like cut out the tongue that speaks Russian, I don't know. They wanted to stop using Russian completely, and many people switched to turn to learning Kazakh in those days of like in the beginning of war.
Suinbike, let's talk about your film, which you have spent over 5 years working now. It's called Mambet, which is basically a slur. It's like calling someone a redneck. Why did you choose that title and what your film is about?
The title is my project. Yeah, in terms of like a kind of like what's it called, like queer, like queer words happened, like turned into a good, neutral and positive from being negative. It's called reclaiming, right? So it's a kind of a reclaiming project of mine. I want to start using Mambet as a like cleared from all of this negative attributes of it. I want it to be just like what it is, a shortened version of Muhammad's name, Prophet's name. Muhammad, it's like this built, the root is Muhammad, and it's just a kind of part of history when Kazakhs were turned into Islam, accepting Islam by not throwing out their own religion, which was Tengrism, and kind of combining and putting it together like Tengri Islam.
Your film, which is almost complete, tell me about your film Mambet. It is a hybrid film.
Yes. Doku Moko.
Doku Moko is a very cool name. Doku Moko, which is a mix
Documentary,
of...
mockumentary, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And so in this film,
Suinbike is rediscovering Kazakh culture through language throughout her own journey, living in Kazakhstan and getting to know things that even living in Kazakhstan you sometimes are not, you don't have access to. Yeah.
you discovered the Irish film Kneecap, which
Yes.
many people might have seen. And Kneecap, it is about Irish language revival through hip hop.
Mhm.
What did seeing that film do to you? Was that the moment when you kind of clinked and you thought, my film is about the same problem? That
Yeah, it's amazing how actually ideas do fly. It's like they're there for everyone. Like you can be on the same page with so many people all around the world, like so far away. It's great. And I watched it later when they got the BAFTA, and like my friends, Kazakh producers who worked on the film on Kneecap, they were celebrating the BAFTA awards, and only then I watched it. But my film project also had the same kind of direction from the beginning, you know. Filmmaker, that is also the part of my movie title. Yeah, Mambet, filmmaker, which can be translated as language matter.
Mhm.
So language matter wasn't really like talked about.
Mhm. Mhm.
And only like language activists these days are the only people who now it's changing so drastically. It's like there is a real like wave, and we cannot really say we were really close to the Irish situation with the language matter in Ireland, like very, very close at some point. Now you can say that there is a kind of a extinction risk of Kazakh language anymore at all, because it's just growing. And by official data, it's like 60% of Kazakh speaking people in Kazakhstan these days that use Kazakh in their everyday life.
What do you want people to feel, those who would watch the film, inside Kazakhstan and outside Kazakhstan?
I would know that there is like so much more to Kazakhstan, like for the people who are outside and also for the people who are inside as well. Because, you know, this is the general phenomenon, general like sentiment of mine, the sensation of mine, this all of these last years. I am like genuinely happy of this last year since I started learning Kazakh myself, because how there's a huge rich field that is being
You can-
opened. You can dig in, you know?
And if a young Russian speaking Kazakh is watching this interview and thinks, I should also learn Kazakh, what do you want them to know about what your journey was like? Because you are learning the language, right? In the process of
Yes.
making the film.
Well, I should say it is like take your time. It shouldn't be so crazy. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, like I have to learn it like in a week. That was my strategy. I was really having a lot of problems with just sometimes reading like one sentence, you know, and I'm past it finally, you know. So it's been like 4 years.
And how is your Kazakh now?
I can speak. So it's like a big celebratory. Yes, exactly. And also my another like biggest challenge was to speak Kazakh with my child. He's a 6-year-old now. So finally it is happening. Like we do speak. It's like like the simplest, the most primitive Kazakh, you know? I guess maybe not the most primitive. It's definitely artificial though. Yeah. But I'm trying. Like my pronunciation is good. So like now over the years. So it's not that bad. I'm really happy actually.
Well
It's
done.
possible. I mean, like you just surround yourself with this artificial environment, like linguistic environment, the feed again, the apps, websites like the dictionaries, physical ones, electronic, you know, all this kind of things. You make new friends. You go out and you make new friends. That's the most important part.
Well, it sounds like a pretty big achievement if you are trying to use the Kazakh language and speak to your child, even though it is artificial for you because you grew up, you know, as a kid, you were speaking only Russian. So you've made it. Well done. Suinbike, thank you so much. So just a reminder that Suinbike is still working to finish her film. And if you're a funder or broadcaster and you know someone who might be able to help Mambet across the finish line, reach out to us. We'll give the contacts. And yeah, the new Kazakh wave is happening and Suinbike is documenting it. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rayhan.
This is the Reme Show. I'm Rayhan Mutikubova.
Yeah.
See you soon. Bye.
Rahmet.
Rahmet!